Okay, hello folks. Today we are talking about Hustle City. What is Hustle City? If you haven't heard, Hustle City is the world's first story-driven trainer game. And when I say game, I mean game. This is a video game. This is not video game adjacent like Zwift or RGT. No offense to those platforms. This is a game for the trainer that is being designed like a video game by video game designers. So yeah, I have had beta early access to this to about the first 40 minutes of gameplay. This is a highly story-driven story-driven game, so I'm not going to include any story details. I'm going to include kind of limited sort of cinematic stuff in here because I want you all to experience that for yourself the first time when you play it. But yeah, I've had access to the first 40 minutes. I will walk you through how it works, my initial impressions, and some other stuff. Quick note, this is in beta, so there's going to be some graphical glitches. There's going to be some times when cars disappear or yada, 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 all that stuff. Ignore it. It's early. That'll all get fixed. This is to give you a sense of how it works and what it's like. Okay, first things first, how does this work? Basically, you need a smart trainer with this, and it will connect via Bluetooth to your phone. You put the Hustle City app onto your phone that you can then project onto your desktop or laptop using Air Server, I think it's called. I'll link below. There's a free trial for it that I use. You gotta attach your phone somehow to your handlebars, so a little shot here about how I have mine set up. Don't get this one. It kind of like covers up part of the phone screen, and you need that to press stuff on the phone while you're playing. Once you've got that on your handlebars, you need a way to steer. Steering is how the game works. So, there's a few ways to do this. I'll list them below. What did I do? Well, to be honest, I was kind of a sucker. I went out and I bought that Elite steering block thing, and you know what? I don't think you need it. It kind of sucks, but it's okay. I've heard people use a towel. You can put a towel underneath your front tire or some kind of rolly thing you can get from a hardware store. I would try those options first. If they really don't work, try out the Elite thing. The Elite thing's not terrible, but So, Hustle City is a story-based fitness trainer game that plops you into a fictional city. I'm not going to tell you the character's name or anything because this is a story-driven thing, so I want you to discover it for yourself the first time. But yeah, there are cinematics throughout which are surprisingly high quality. I was not expecting this degree of polish and creative vision. This is pretty impressive stuff. I've played a lot of games in my time, and as far as in-game cinematics and storytelling go, this is pretty good. This is pretty good, especially for a game that is basically creating a new category, fitness-based, story-based trainer games. You can easily see how another company would have just defaulted to some kind of boring road riding narrative or some kind of utopian kind of aesthetic and approach. But they haven't done that here. They've gone for something a little darker, a little edgier. It's not a very serious narrative, but there's swearing, there's references to drugs and sex and smoking and drinking. It's cool. It feels like a very well-established, lived-in world, which is not something I was expecting from a trainer game. Not at all. So impressive stuff on the story building and world building front. So what's the core gameplay like? Beat the clock, point-to-point stuff. That's the core mechanic, and it works pretty well. This is a courier game. I wouldn't call it a courier simulator, but it pulls those influences. So in the main kind of 20-25 minute mission that I played, I had to pick up a set amount of packages and deliver them in a certain amount of time. So, just got smoked by a car there. So I would pick up a package, and maybe you have 5 minutes to get it to a location however far away. You do have a money counter there, so I believe every time you crash, you lose a bit of money. And then if you run out of time, you'll lose money as you lose more and more time. Super simple, but it works well for the game, the concept and the environment, and as a fitness trainer game thing. As I went on, it did seem like traffic increased. It did seem like the routes got a bit more complex. So there was a nice little kind of escalation of difficulty there. So what was this all like? So what does this play like? Pretty good. Honestly, pretty good. At first, of course, it's going to take some time to master the mechanics of steering and dodging cars and not oversteering, yada, yada, yada. But you do really get a feel for it after a while. And I will say, after maybe 5 minutes even, 5 minutes. I feel like I picked things up pretty quickly. There was some moments of like it feeling like there was a genuine state of flow. You would go between traffic and down the yellow line between two lanes of traffic, weave to the right between a garbage can and a lamppost, back onto the road, miraculously without crashing while putting down some pretty good watts. That felt pretty good. It was pretty fun. One thing to note is that while you are playing, you are dealing with two interfaces. So yes, you have your main screen, which I'm streaming here, which is on your laptop or your desktop. But at the same time, your phone has some pretty critical data on it as well. Namely, there's a mini map on the phone, and then a couple of handy commands on the phone as well. Like what is that called when you like press north or a compass and it just like redirects you? There's that. The other one that's really handy is there is a steering zeroing kind of function. So I did notice that as I was playing and as I was turning the wheel, my elite steering block would kind of shift around a little bit and it would be a little bit off center. So as I was playing, you could kind of zero in the steering so that you would have like true straight again instead of veering slightly left or slightly right. So I think there's probably ways to improve my setup so that doesn't happen as much, but it was really nice to have it there. I think that worked really well. Next thing to note, of course, we have this red to blue dial central on the HUD there. This is sort of just a rough pesometer. Apparently the way the game works is it kind of learns your power curve as you're playing. So there are a couple of game critical sections where you will have to maintain a certain wattage to complete a goal, and that's all going to be based on your prior performance. So the way I understand it here, I'm not totally sure, but red is probably like, come on, you're like zone 1 or below, come on, get your ass in gear. Whereas when we're kind of hitting the end of the spectrum there, starting to pin it, like we're seeing some speed stripes happening there. That's a lot of watts. That means we're moving along pretty good. So it gives you a rough idea about where your effort is at. You can look at your watts on your phone, which is fun. And then afterwards, you can look at your wattage on Strava, of course. And talking about Strava and watts, there is one big question, and I've had a lot of people ask me this. Is Hustle City a good workout? Yeah, it is. It's not going to replace Zwift or Trainer Road, nor is it supposed to. But I'll give you a sense about what my workout for this looked like. I'll post my Strava file here shortly, but the main component of day one was about 20-25 minutes of what I would call sweet spot. So 85 to 95% of my FTP was what it ended up being, I think. I could have gone harder, I could have gone easier, but that's kind of where my wattage ended up. And then to conclude that, there was a story-driven segment at the end, I'm not going to tell you what it was, where 90 seconds of an all-out effort was required. And that was really cool because I was pretty caught up in the story and the stakes were high in that moment. And so I had a completely different motivator for putting out big watts than I would have, for just doing any old interval or whatever else. So really pretty good workout, like not crazy. If I had access to day two, maybe I would have done day two and that would have been, almost 90 minutes of riding, which, that would be a good workout, maybe getting close to 100 TSS there. It's not going to replace a training plan. It's not supposed to. Where I think this really shines is in supplementing other things you're doing on the trainer. You're not going to be doing this every day, day in, day out. It's not going to replace anything, but you're going to binge this. Maybe you play this twice over the course of 2 weeks, supplementing your other trainer road and Zwift plans, whatever else. And this is just kind of a distraction to help you like log more hours on the trainer. And hey, I will say when I was playing this, time went by very quickly. Those 45 minutes went by like that. And hey, I mean, that is the main challenge with riding on the trainer. How can I make time go by more quickly? How can I get more hours in and make it a bit painless? And that's what this is really good at. So I love the idea of this being a 6-hour game, 5-hour game, 7, whatever, and just having that as kind of like an additional way to get 5 hours in over the course of a week or 2 weeks or a day, who knows. I think that's really cool. And I love the idea of a game like this, of these short stories, whether it is in the Hustle City universe or a different story completely, having these come out every few months and just being able to binge this content much like you would a Netflix show, I think that's a pretty compelling proposition for a game on the trainer. So, overall, my initial impressions of Hustle City are pretty good. I think it's a very unique, singular vision. I think it is a very unique concept, the idea of binge fitness storytelling in gaming. And this does feel like a game that I would want to master over time. I do wonder, I didn't get the sense that the stakes were wildly high yet in the main mission. I didn't really care about losing money. That didn't seem to matter much. It didn't seem like my bike was destructible, so I didn't really care about that. But who knows, that could change in other missions in the game, and that could change in other chapters within this universe or these series of games. So this is a great project. I'm really happy with this. I'm feel very honored to have had early access. Please give these guys a follow, Hustle City. They're on Instagram. Just look up Hustle City. And then if you want to sign up for early access, you can do that as well. I know they're looking to get as many folks right now. This is coming out soon. Again, this isn't beta, so any flickering or any weird stuff you're going to see is going to be ironed out down the road. But really cool stuff. I think this represents a really kind of exciting new beginning in trainer entertainment. And I would be pretty stoked to have this and other stories like it alongside Zwift and Trainer Road. My subscription of trainer content givers just keeps growing and growing. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have questions below. Give them a follow on Instagram. Give them a sign up. Give them your sign up stuff. All right. I've rambled enough. You've seen enough, I say. See ya.